Good evening, everyone. Thank y'all for coming. Let us bow our heads, please, in the word of prayer. Most holy and eternal God, our Father, we thank you for all your blessings that you have bestowed upon us. Thank you for this day, and thank you for all the benefits you've shown toward us. We ask you to bless our city and bless us and keep us. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. We're happy to see everybody here this afternoon on our first city council meeting of the year. So I want to say Happy New Year to all of you. Our first item on the agenda is consideration of December 16th, 2025 city council minutes.
Move for approval.
Motion has been made by Dr. Kalu.
Second.
Second by Councilman Kidd. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. The motion is carried. The recognition of January Community of Character trait. The trait is perseverance. Perseverance is doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. And we are asking everyone, all our citizens, to please adopt this trait for this month. We will not have an appearance by Pastor Tim Brown. I think his questions have been answered. And so, yes, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council,
Good evening.
and to the listening and watching public. You have before you 3 resolutions to honor employees from the Department of Public Utilities. These employees have served the Department of Public Utilities in the city of Orangeburg for just over 95 years. If you total up their time, Mr. Jim Riley with the Department of Public Utilities lineman, he was their general foreman, and Mr. James Hill, who worked in our warehouse. He was their warehouse manager, and Mr. Ben Jones, who also assisted in the warehouse as a group as well. They have been with us and done the city of Orangeburg and its people a tremendous service, and we certainly want to thank them and honor them with these 3 resolutions that are before you.
Thank you, Mr. Holly. I would like to, out of respect to all 3 of them, read the resolutions, please. Whereas Jim G. Riley faithfully served the Department of Public Utilities, the city of Orangeburg, for 31 years and 3 months in the 19 days and a retirement date of December the 19th, 2025. And whereas through his long and faithful service contributed greatly to the successful operation of the city of Orangeburg, and whereas the City Council, in recognition of the fine contributions rendered to the city of Orangeburg, want to inscribe on the records its appreciation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor, members of the council, in council assembly do officially recognize the faithful service rendered to the city of Orangeburg in the capacity in which he served, and we take pride in commending him for a job well done. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution in appreciation for his devotion of duty to the city of Orangeburg be placed in the minute book of the city of Orangeburg in recognition of his service. Passed by City Council and City of Orangeburg, State of South Carolina, this 6th day, January 2026. So please, join me by giving Mr. Riley a hand. Thank you. If you listen to Mr. Riley, thank you for your services. Mr. James N. Hill, Jr., faithfully served the Department of Public Utilities of the city of Orangeburg for 28 years and 2 months and 19 days with the retirement date of December 19, 2025. And whereas he, through his long and faithful service, contributed greatly to the successful operation of the city of Orangeburg, and whereas the city council, in recognition of fine contribution rendered to the city of Orangeburg, want to inscribe on record its appreciation. Now therefore be it further resolved that the mayor and members of council in the council assembly do officially recognize the faithful service rendered to the city of Orangeburg in the capacity in which he served, and we take pride in commending him for a job well done. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution in appreciation for his devotion of the duty to the city of Orangeburg be placed in the minute book of the city of Orangeburg in recognition of his service passed by city council of the city of Orangeburg, state of South Carolina, this 6th day of January 2026. Can we give Mr. James Hill Jr. a hand? If y'all watching, we appreciate y'all that here. All right, Mr. Ben F. Jones faithfully served the Department of Public Utilities of the city of Orangeburg for 36 years, 3 months, and 16 days with a retirement date of December 26, 2025. Whereas he, through his long and faithful service, contributed greatly to the successful operation of the city of Orangeburg. And whereas City Council, in recognition of this fine contribution rendered to the city of Orangeburg, want to inscribe on records its appreciation. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and members of the City Council and the Council Assembly do officially recognize the faithful service rendered to the city of Orangeburg in the capacity in which he served, and we take pride in commending him for a job well done. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution in appreciation of his devotion of duty to the city of Orangeburg be placed in the minute book of the city in recognition of his service passed by City Council of the city of Orangeburg, state of South Carolina, this 6th day, January 2026. I want to say hats off to you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This item number 2, old business.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
For item number 2 under old business is the third reading of the ordinance to consider a zoning district map change from A1 residential single unit district to OI office institutional residential district for property belonging to the city of Orangeburg, located at 1895 Columbia Road, tax map number 0174-17-08-005 .000. This is property, as mentioned, that is owned by the city of Orangeburg. It is on the Columbia Road and is currently up for sale. There are commercial properties surrounding it for the most part, and we wanted to have the house rezoned to make it more attractive to a potential buyer.
Council, are there any comments on this before we read the ordinance? Any comments, any questions?
No.
If not, I'm going to read the ordinance. An ordinance to approve a change to the zoning district map from A1 residential single unit district to OI office institutional residential district for the property belonging to the city of Orangeburg, located at 1895 Columbia Road, tax map number 0174-17-08005000, and provide for related matters. We'd like to entertain a motion, please.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Councilman Grievous,
Second motion.
second by Councilman Knox. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes having, the motion is carried.
Item number 3 is the third reading of the ordinance for consideration of a zoning district map change from A2 residential multi-unit district to A3 residential general business, general district for property belonging to the Paragon Development of South Carolina LLC. The property is located at 237 Maxey Street with a tax map number of 0173-15-14-034.000. Paragon initially requested the zoning change to be B1 General Business District to accommodate student housing that is planned for that property. However, in doing so, it would open up the property to other commercial development in a residential area. So in order to accommodate their request, we are looking to change the zoning to A3 Residential General District, which would accommodate their planned development and also preserve the integrity of the property on that street.
Okay, council, are there any questions? Yes, sir.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
when you change it to A3 residential, does that also involve building the units for the students?
Yes, yes, it would allow Paragon to build the units for the students, but if something were to happen and the Paragon Group would pull out of that area, and if it were not changed to A3, and if it was changed to B1, then it would just open up that area for development in a residential area, which is not prohibited, which is prohibited.
Is there any concern about the residents, the older folks that live around that environment?
I have not received any feedback. As I mentioned, when we had the meeting at the Planning Commission, we only had one person to attend, and she was just attending to understand what was taking place. Other than that, I have not received any other feedback.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
Are there any more questions?
Ms. Williams, I think it was appropriate to go from A3 to B1. But based upon statements made upon the applicant, it seems that this project may function as a college boarding house rather than traditional apartments. Would you
So, from what I understood, it is supposed to be student housing. I'm not sure, I can't speak to the actual plan development, but I know it is supposed to accommodate student housing.
Okay. Under our ordinance, I saw that a boarding house in an A3 district is not permitted by right. It requires a special exception approved by the Zoning Board of Appeals. It must meet all applicable standards. One of the standards is parking, one parking space per bed. The project's intended to house 18 students, which will require 18 parking spaces, wouldn't that? He said 18 total?
As far as I know, yes, sir.
Do you think that would be the correct process to follow?
So according to our zoning official, the A3 designation would accommodate the property to be developed for student housing rather than the B1 General Business District. And that is because of the planned development for that area, which would, if it was a B1, would open it up to further commercial development.
I don't think that, I want to say this, I don't think that you call that a boarding house. I mean, I don't think they follow the law of boarding house. We didn't had this before. We had boarding house on Gulf Avenue, and they called it, and they had to go through special, when Miss Greggs and them had their boarding house, and Miss Maud Lawrence and Miss Glover and them had their boarding house over there. They had to go through something special for those students there, but this is new structure. That don't fall under that.
I understand.
This is a new structure that will have zoning, and they will tell you what can go in there. This does not fall under any kind of boarding house.
I'm just asking for Ms. Williams to confirm that if this project is a boarding house, that It
It's
would
not
be
a boarding house. No, a boarding house is a house that's in the community, that's already there, and somebody house students there with them. That's a boarding house. This is a new structure, student housing, just like you put an apartment or something there for student housing. This is not, this shouldn't be considered in the form of a boarding house.
And I can,
Miss Lawrence them had a boarding house. They stayed in the house. Miss Greggs them had, Miss Glover, O.E. Glover them had a boarding house. They stayed in the house. The students stayed with them because the students won't be staying boarding with nobody. They be living in their own place. So it's not a boarding, it's not that, it shouldn't even fall under that. No, it's not a boarding, no. This is
And
a new,
I-
this is a new structure that fall under the guidelines of zoning. They zone for it. They should tell you how many parking spaces you should have there, because they already got the guidelines for this new structure.
right, they
So
do.
that's not, that don't fit in that category.
I'm just bringing up what a constituent brought to me, and
Yeah.
under my research, this, 18 students must have 18 parking spaces. I mean,
Yes,
do they have
yeah.
enough, do they have enough room to put 18 parking spaces on that lot? On those plans that we had, is it enough for 18 parking spots?
Is the 18 parking spots is if it's a boarding house though, correct?
No.
No.
No,
Or,
No,
no.
it's
No, no.
not.
Or if you
no,
have eight-
what you're asking, Councilman Hawkins, is the 18 parking spaces, those are required if it is a boarding house though, correct?
No.
Was that your question, Councilman Hawkins?
How many parking spots are gonna be here? I see it's supposed to be 10.
Right, that's what
But you have
I'm
18
looking at.
people living there. You don't think that each person's gonna have a car? This can cause some parking issues?
What did the zoning say? What zoning say how many parking there? That's what you
If
go.
it's, if it's B1, then each individual has to have a parking spot, correct?
If it's B1, yes, but we're saying that
It is
B1 would not
B1
allow
because it is
that.
individual apartments,
Right,
correct. So now the 18 parking spots would not be required, correct?
That's right.
yes.
That's my question. Thank you. I don't think it's a boarding house based off of Mr. Bird's explanation the last time. He said it was individual apartment units that would house more than one student per apartment. But I think it is, and I can't remember the number of units that he said specifically were going in the building, but my understanding from his explanation at the last meeting is that it was individual apartments with more than one student living in the apartment.
It's two or three students to the apartment, just like,
A triplex.
yeah, like.
Where
behind,
students
say,
would have their own bedroom, closet, and bathroom.
in one apartment.
Correct, and then I'll also just add that there is already on that street a 5-unit apartment building.
Yes.
Yeah, already there. Down on the end, down on the end.
I think the bottom line is that it's not a burden.
No, it's not a
Apartment.
boarding house.
Correct.
No.
Okay.
It's an apartment
Ms. Beach.
building.
Yes,
No, that was, I was trying to find it in the minutes if he stated the exact number of students that was going in each unit, but he did state that it was a
18.
triplex.
What
No,
I
in
remember,
each
it was 18 of them.
apartment.
Okay. Are there any more discussion? If not, I'm gonna read the ordinance. An ordinance to approve a change to the zoning district map from A2 residential multi-unit district to A3 residential general district for the property belonging to Paragon Development of South Carolina LLC located at 237 Maxis Street, tax map number 01731514034000, and provide to the related matters.
Mayor and council, I move the adoption of the change to the zoning district map from A2 residential multi-unit district to A3 residential, and with the location at 237 Maxey Street, and we already read the number, and provided for related matters.
Motion's been made by Councilman Kidd,
Second.
second by Councilman Grievous. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Ayes have it, the motion is carried.
And lastly, for item number 4, this is also third reading of the ordinance for consideration of a zoning district map change. Basically the same as what I just read, because it's a property that is adjacent to the 237 Maxey Street. This property is located at 245 Maxey Street. And the plan is to combine both of those lots to build the structure and do the parking.
Okay. That's good. Are there any discussion on this ordinance from anyone?
I just wanted to clarify that these two structures, although I know we're dealing with one, will not impede upon that, the park that is located in this area.
To my knowledge, it will not.
Okay.
Yeah, the park is still there. Are there any discussion on this? Okay. An ordinance to approve a change to the zoning district map from A2 residential multi-unit district to A3 residential general district for the property belonging to Paragon Development of SC LLC located at 245 Maxey Street with the tax map number 01731514033000 and provide for related matters.
Mayor and council, I move for the adoption of the zoning of district map change from A2 residential multi-unit district to A3 residential general district for property belonging to Paragon Development of SC LLC located at 245 Maxey Street, tax number 0173-15-14-033-000 and related matters.
Motion's been made, Councilman Kidd,
Second.
second by Councilman Kalou. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, the motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
New business.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
The first item under new business for your consideration is a resolution to support the Municipal Association's 2026-2027 legislature advocacy initiatives. As you all might be aware, each year, the Municipal Association's Board of Directors comes up with a list of initiatives that they would like the municipalities across South Carolina to support. I will highlight some of the initiatives, not all of them, but some of them include protecting the authority of cities and towns to regulate short-term rentals within municipal boundaries, allowing cities and towns to close donut holes or enclaves in their municipal limits through a local annexation process while preserving current annexation powers, increasing the flexibility for cities and towns for local accommodation tax revenues, protecting the local election process, supporting funding for police equipment and infrastructure, et cetera. Again, this is just something that they do on an annual basis, and they ask that you pass this resolution in support of those legislative initiatives.
Okay, council, are there any discussions on this initiative? If not, I'm gonna read it.
No questions, but I would like to say that it is a fantastic group that all of us need to attend and learn what is being done at the Municipal Association. You get a lot from attending the event. It's wonderful.
Thank you. A resolution to support the Municipal Association 2026-2027 legislative Advocacy Initiative. I'd like to have a motion, please.
Members of the council, I move for approval of the resolution.
A motion's been made by Dr. Kalu,
Second.
second by Dr. Grievous. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, the motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The next item for your consideration is a resolution approving the city administrator to negotiate and enter into a contract with Yellowstone Landscaping for Parks and Recreation landscaping services. Just by way of background, back in October, I believe it was, an RFP was issued for landscaping services. There was an evaluation committee that reviewed proposals that came in November, and the highest scoring overall score was by Yellowstone Landscaping. And thus, I'm requesting the ability to negotiate it, to enter a contract with them for the landscaping services throughout the city.
Okay, council, are there any questions before I read this resolution?
Mr. Mayor, just for clarification, you formed a committee,
Yes, sir.
and then companies had to bid,
Yes, sir.
okay? And you had a criteria for them to assess all those companies.
Yes, sir.
And then the committee came up with an answer for you, that this is the one that we chose.
Mhm.
Okay. And were you part of the committee?
No, sir, I was not. The committee was a four-person committee, am I correct? Four-person committee that included senior staff. We received 8 proposals. Like you alluded to, there was a scoring criteria, and the committee evaluated based upon that scoring criteria.
Okay. And so the company that you brought before the council is the one that was approved?
It was
by
the
committee?
overall score, highest scoring.
Higher score, because the council has no business in the bidding.
No.
Yeah.
No, we don't
And
get
so
into
you
bid.
brought the bidding for us, the answer to us, right?
I'm sorry.
You brought a company that was
Yes, sir.
approved. Thank you.
Yeah, we want to establish that, council, want to make sure we understand that we cannot get into the bidding. We cannot, we don't do that. That's not what we do. We, the city administrator, he runs the city, and he runs the day-to-day activity, and this is the process that they use. Now, whether we agree with it or not, that's our personal, but we have to stay with the process. And we gotta be careful with that, because I want y'all to understand, this is very dangerous for a council member. Getting council members have lost their seats. So don't do that. The ethics advise us not to do that. So let's not do that. That is their job. That's what they do. And we have to back and understand our policy. And what we're here today is not to discuss the bidding, but we're here to give the administrator the ability to carry out what the report they have brought him back. So let's be very, very careful.
Now the question, I just want to say to the council,
Talk in the microphone, please, they can hear you.
we are not the day-to-day grouped operation of the city. We are council members. The city officials bring to us all the information, and we either accept it or just say no and go on about our business. We are not the day-to-day operation. Please remember that.
Mrs. Grievous, you have a question?
Yes, is the RFP process carried out annually?
For this particular,
Yes, for this service?
yes, this is the second year. We did it last year. This is the second year that we've had landscaping.
Okay, so each
Services.
year, an RFP will be
Yes.
put out, and so the service may change next year?
Yes.
Yes? No?
Yes.
He's just sitting up, he's just sitting down.
And yes, it could change, because
Depending on what.
Depending on the bids.
Okay.
Yeah, many years of contract. If it's 1 year, 2 years.
It's an annual process.
Thank you.
Mr. Evering, just for transparency, do you mind just explaining to council the clerical error where one voter, you know, their votes removed?
Yes, absolutely. So again, there were 4 evaluators, committee members. There was unfortunately one evaluator that scored outside of the scoring. So it's basically from 1 to 10. And unfortunately, this person scored allocated scores above that. And so their score sheet was disqualified because they went outside of that 1 to 10 scoring. So, but that was a mistake on that person's part.
Mr. Hannah has it.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Mr. Sidney,
Yes, sir.
how did we come to this? And then I have a question.
In terms of coming to the landscape.
Come to the utilization that the city
Right.
needs someone to
Right,
perform
absolutely.
the duties that the city will perform.
Right, so traditionally, either members of our Parks and Rec department or our service department had been doing the majority, if not all of the landscaping throughout the city. We felt that it might be more beneficial and economical to have a third-party vendor provide some of those services. It would allow our current employees to concentrate on certain areas of the city, for example, the gardens. But it would also allow us to hopefully save money, and I think we have saved money by going to an outside third-party vendor.
So to have Yellowstone, because as the mayor said, we don't get involved in 1,000 things. I don't know how much city council knows. But seemingly, how many different companies were in the race?
8.
8? And
Yes, sir.
we came up with 1. You didn't come to us with a 1, 2, 3. So which one of the 3 is coming with 8? Because I looked at the way that they were graded, and it was strange that it went high to low. And usually if you get 8 people competing for something, they are pretty much close. But there were great deviations between, it's like, golly, what happened? How could it possibly be? You know, so it went like that. It's just that now you say, well, save us money. And then we'll be getting more productivity. When save money, more productivity, two different things. So we will be getting more money for the buck
Yes, sir.
than what our city employees would do.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
what happens to them? Are we laying them off? We're rerouting them? What are we doing?
We're not laying them off. However, through attrition, if we lose folks, we will not replace those positions. We will continue to rely on our third-party vendors to provide those services.
I'm not trying to badge you. The reason why the work wasn't done because we hired people that could not do the work, or we didn't have enough people doing the work.
No, I think it was more of a combination of we didn't have enough people doing the work. I mean, we have a lot of landscaping to maintain, and so we thought that we would try this, having a third-party vendor come in, save money, and also buttress our efforts.
8 people in the run. This company came out number 1, and what's the location? Company headquarters is where?
I believe it is it Columbia or Charleston? Columbia.
You know, I ask that because I'm always wanting to see how much local we can get. You know, keep the money in close proximity. But the company is from Columbia. They have headquarters in Columbia.
Yes, sir.
And they can provide for us what we couldn't do for us.
Just buttress.
But also, on that note, you must meet the criteria. You must not badger the process. There is a process, and there's a process in place that they've been using for many times. And you got to meet the qualification based on. And that's why I didn't want us to get into this, because they have sit down and done their due diligence or how to come up with the person.
But Mayor, in all honesty, see, when the ball falls, it's gonna fall on the heads that's up here. It's not gonna fall on the people that's out there.
But
It's
I
gonna
don't,
fall- it's
I don't
gonna
like the
fall
badge,
on
I
us.
don't like our workers that seem like they don't know what they're doing, because they know what they're doing. We hired them to do a job, and we should support them.
Is there an evaluation process prior to these RFPs being put out?
When you say,
An evaluation process of the current, so if Yellowstone is the accepted company providing the service, will they receive any sort of evaluation before the next RFP is?
Sean, you want to speak? I'm gonna let our Parks and Rec Director, Sean Taylor. speak.
And I guess the second part of that, if there is an RFP placed out regardless?
Good evening, Mayor, members of council,
Good
through
evening.
Administrator Edwin. Yes, the evaluation process is, with them, we kind of go through it, walk through the sites, make sure they understand what is expected, what we're looking for. And as the weeks go on, if we get issues, then we document those issues. We call the vendor in, talk with them, make sure they understand that we are receiving issues or this is not up to our expectation. So when the RFP does go back out, we'll have the documentation to support our decisions on yea or nay.
So regardless if they receive an exceptional evaluation, an RFP will still be issued?
With this RFP, there is language that says that if we are satisfied with the company, that we can renew it with them. The
Without
original-
issuing
the
an
current one
RFP.
that went out has that language. The original one had that we will put it back out annually for
Okay.
that purpose.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any more questions, concerns?
I do, yes, sir. I reviewed this RFP a lot. Mr. Evan, I reached out to you and spoke with you. Section 13 of the new contract states that an annual review of each landscaping contractor will be completed at the end of the year. That's a new contract, you're saying?
I'm sorry, could you repeat?
Section 13 of the current contract, is that a new contract we're using?
No, sir. We had, again, through Administrator Edmund, I had a meeting with the vendor, our current vendor. I let them know that the RFP was going back out based on, what we did. We had some new areas. And so I sent an email to the vendor to verify that the RFP is going back out for rebidding, notifying them of the city's intentions to rebid the landscape services that we offered. So, yes, it went out. Yes, we had a meeting with the vendor, the current vendor, to talk about where we are currently, the issues, if there were any, and how we were going to move forward.
So Section 13 was completed of the contract, the prior service?
Prior to the conclusion of the current contract. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, and then I had a couple things I wanted to say.
Sean, you might want to stay up here.
This is more, Mr. Evering. Subsection 1135-1524 of the South Carolina Code of Laws explicitly allows for resident vendor preferences under that statute. Is that correct?
I'm not familiar with that statute, but I take your word at it.
All right, I might get our attorney to look that up if you don't mind. 11-35-1524. I don't want to get in the weeds of it. I don't like the way that this was done, but that's, none of my business. I just wanted to say that with Yellowstone being a non-local business, and then we have companies in Orangeburg who are passed over, and we consistently ask our citizens to support small businesses, support local businesses. Yet in this instant, we're going to send our local taxpayer dollars out of our community and our local business employees, people who live here, vote here, and raise families here. That's my concern.
No,
And I just wanted to voice it. I mean,
Okay. Well, I understand that concern. I share that concern. I've talked with the current vendor. We had an extensive conversation, and his thoughts were expressed, and I committed to him that going forward, if it's legally permissible to do so, that we will put a provision in our RFPs that would give deference or consideration to local vendors. But we also have to, make sure that we are getting the best bang for the buck in terms of our services. We also have this RFP process. It was a fair process, and everybody had to go through it. And this is the way that the process is supposed to work.
And I'm fine with that. I just wanted to address my concerns of, supporting local businesses, and if we can do so in the future under 1135, 1524, I think we need to put a preference in there, that you get extra 5 points if you're a local business.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's people that live here that, we ask them to support us and, support the community.
And I have no qualms with that.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, Councilmember Hawkins. State code certainly does contain the provision that you reference. The city code also contains a reference to a local vendor preference already. It is in section 2-5.3I under.
Say that one more time, I'm sorry.
2-5.3 sub-item I.
Thank you.
And it is referenced as bid award or titled as bid award. It shall be the policy of the city of Orangeburg to give purchasing preference to local vendors when price, quality, service, and delivery time are equal. Local vendors should be given the opportunity to bid on any and all supplies, materials, and services. It then goes on to reference purchases and contracts being awarded to the lowest responsible bidder. Obviously, that is without respect to whether they're a local vendor or not. And then there's some additional provisions of the section that don't deal with the local preference. But the beginning of that section indicates that it should be when these other items are equal. State law does permit a stronger preference, if you will, as you indicated, some additional points or some other price consideration, which is currently not in the city code.
All right. I just wanted to, if that's something that we could implement into the future, I think that's definitely something that we need to do.
Absolutely.
And I just want to say this, we are all for helping local businesses because that's we live here. We all for that. That is what we want to do. But however, your package that you present or whatever you present, it got to meet the standards. If they have criteria, no need to having criteria. If it don't meet, if you're a local business, you got to, don't take for granted that because you local, this gonna be automatic approved. It got to meet the standards. That's what they judge it by. They judge it by you bidding, you meeting the standards in your bid. That's what they do. And I'm all for local business. I'm all for that. I am. But I think your package got to meet the standards and they have to present a fair and impartial process.
I agree.
Which I think they have done. But your package still got to meet the standards of what they require of you to do.
I just think references and, going back, I think, anybody could make a RFP. I could say I'm the best landscaper in the whole state, but I might not own a lawnmower. You can't go just on what, I can hand you something, and you can say, oh, man, that looks great, Jordan's Lawn Care. We still need to, do our due diligence, not saying that it wasn't done, to make sure, we're getting the best bang for the buck and we're using the best people for the job. Not saying that, it has to be one person or this person or that person, local or not. We just need to do our due diligence and, use taxpayers' monies responsibly.
Mr. Sidney,
Yes, sir.
where would the city be if this person, because we're replacing a company, aren't we? We're replacing, we already have a company, and we're gonna replace it.
You could put it that way. It's not replacing, we opened it up to,
There's a company presently doing the
Yes.
work that the new company will be doing. So what happens if we don't choose the new company, if the contract has dates on it?
I'm sorry?
Where will the city be if we do not choose the new company? Because the old company contract would be out, right?
Yes, it would be over.
So where would we be?
Well, we would be without those services that we're seeking to get.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Evans, I thought the process, Councilman Hannah, if the first, the one we awarded the bid does not take it, you go to the second bid. I thought that's the process. Yeah, because, you know, when I was a chair of the school board, that's the same process that we use. You have, they bring 3 names actually to the school board. And then if the first bid does not take it, then you go to the second, second bid, that's the way. So we're not going to be left out without any business.
Correct.
Any more concerns before we read the resolution? Any more
I have one
comment?
more question, I'm sorry. If we're not pleased with the services we get, that'd be a violation of contract, we would go to somebody else?
I think that's correct. I mean,
Or would you open it back up? Do we get in a position where we're,
we certainly have the option to end the contract and have that flexibility. And we can reopen the process.
so you'd have to go through the whole process again?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any more comments?
Now, I would just like to say that I think the city of Orangeburg have enough people that we've hired in positions to see what needs to be done for us. They will know if the company does not work out, they will go back to the drawing board and do what needs to be done. Let's stop. Oh, my God. Thank you so much. Thank the members for their positions and what they are doing.
I want to
Thank
read
you
the
so
resolution. Approving the city administrator to negotiate and to enter a contract with Yellowstone Landscaping for parks and recreation landscaping services and providing for other related matters. I would like to entertain a motion, please.
Mayor and council, I move for the adoption of approving the city administrator to negotiate and enter a contract with Yellowstone Landscaping for Parks and Recreation Landscaping Service.
Motion has been made by Councilman Kidd,
Second motion.
second by Councilman Blue. All in favor? Any opposed?
Aye.
Oppose?
How many? We have 2 opposed and rest ayes. Ayes have it, the motion is carried.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The next item for your consideration is a resolution to provide for certain certifications regarding an abandoned building and an abandoned building site at 1549 Broughton Street, tax map number 0152-16-18.001.000, according to South Carolina Code annotated section 12-67-100. We
Okay.
were approached by, I'm sorry, let me get my notes here. By Guild Development, who they're in the process of seeking to do a senior housing project at 1549 Broughton Street. And so they're requesting a resolution from you all. They're seeking abandoned building tax credits, but the statute requires that they get a resolution from the local municipality or local government acknowledging that the building or property has been abandoned for at least 5 years. There was an affidavit in your packet confirming or certifying that the property has been abandoned. And so they just need this resolution from you all so that they can go forth with requesting the abandoned building tax credits. And
Can you tell it?
Could you tell us the building?
What's 1549?
that is kind of basically across the street from the old city gym, but I do have some representatives from the development company
Okay,
available.
before they come, we need to get some clarification.
Mm-hmm.
So, though, the 1549 is cross from, you said an abandoned house or abandoned building?
Building.
Building.
Property, buildings.
It's right in front of the gym?
I think it's where the, that old kind of shopping kind of center was. Is that correct?
Is that the one they just repainted and?
Yeah.
So it hasn't been abandoned, because there were businesses in it. were there not?
Parts of it, like, I think, if you all want to explain?
Good
Josh
evening,
Gill.
how are you?
I'm doing very good. Hope you
Good.
guys are all doing well. Thank you so much for having us here tonight.
Okay.
So like I said, with Deal Development, this is my partner. Where he went? Right there, Jay. I know he's sat back down. But so essentially on the property currently, there's two buildings. One building's in the rear. As far as my understanding with the seller and historical imagery, the property was occupied, that specific building was occupied up until about 2017, 2018, and has not been occupied since. The building on the front, with the storefronts, there is a large warehouse in the rear of the property. And as from my understanding and from talking with the seller, the warehouse portion has been abandoned for a very long time. And per the South Carolina State Code, 66% of the building has to have been abandoned for it to be considered an abandoned building. And if you measure the warehouse portion in reference to the storefronts, it'd be over 66% of that specific building. So that was our reasoning for potentially going to get those tax credits.
Okay. I'm still,
Can you point out right here on?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
yeah,
That's all right.
where it is.
I'll let the rest of the council see that. Is that something Clay can pull up on the big screen, or is that too late of a notice?
So, if you look right here, so here's the storefronts right here. These are the storefronts, and I believe this is part of the storefronts as well, but this large warehouse portion right here.
Oh, okay.
Never been used in the past 5 years.
I got it.
Oh, it's over
So
there.
that is over 66% of
Yeah, I
that
see it.
building, and that was our reasoning for going for the tax credit, but it's also for this building right here as well.
Yeah.
There's I guess that's a.
Yeah, it's on this
There we
side.
go, That's the street view,
Okay.
but, it's for both of these two buildings.
I see the building, yeah.
Right, yeah.
And you wanna put senior homes down there?
Yeah, yes, sir. It would be a senior apartment complex. The property's zone B1, so there's no rezoning or anything we'd have to go through. The point of this is just to help get equity for the project.
So, tell me about the senior homes.
Sure.
Tell me about them. They gonna have one bedroom, two, tell me how
Well, it'll be a community of 1 and 2 bedrooms. It'll be a garden-style complex. We'll have a clubhouse, amenities, computer rooms, elevator for the residents. It'll have screen porches. We also work with organizations as well to help with senior services and whatnot. So that's kind of a
It'll be-
very high overview of the project.
Will it be gated?
Say that
Will it
again?
be a gated area?
That's not been in discussions so far. Like I said, we're still very preliminary in the
Yeah.
process, but we will go through site plan review with
Well,
the city.
I'm
when we
not
get
trying to
that
tell
point.
you how to do things, but it need to be gated.
Okay.
You talking about putting your seniors down there, they move out the house, and they need to be gated and let it out so they can go in and come out and feel that
Because
security.
there's a large traffic.
Go-
There's a
up
heavy
in there.
traffic here.
Will you be erecting a new structure, or you'll be using the existing warehouse behind that
So
building?
we will be demolishing the existing property and developing new structure.
Yes.
Clay,
And-
can you pull up an overhead satellite imagery of that, showing the, just so
And-
I got you straight? I'm sorry, Ms. Grievous.
No, go ahead. While he was doing that, I was gonna ask another question, but go ahead.
So this warehouse on the back, this large structure, you'll be demolishing that and then building there and into that green lot
Yeah.
grass area?
The whole property is essentially that block, essentially. So yes, that's correct, yeah.
And the senior facility will face Broughton Street.
No, it will actually face Broad Street. What we've got planned currently, and this could be subject to change, it would be along, it would be perpendicular to Broughton Street,
Okay.
essentially, but we pushed it farther away from Broughton Street as we could, and the parking area will be like on Broad Street, and the building will be perpendicular to Broughton.
And you feel like this is an ideal location for this senior housing unit, given the other businesses and properties around it?
Yes, I mean, from our research and market studies we've had done, we've identified demand and, like I said, the property's zoned for it and it allows for it, so that's been the plan.
The demand is definitely there. I just question the area that you're considering putting the senior facility in.
Yes, it's close proximity to a lot of services, which was the main driver. It's walking distance to some, a short drive to others, which we find would be beneficial for the seniors.
Okay.
residents.
Yeah, but we know the area too, and you need some gates down there. We've been living here a long time, and we know you putting vulnerable seniors down there, and which we need it, because I've heard a lot of seniors say they want to give up their house and move into housing like this club and all that, but, you need some, a lot of particular.
This is beyond the scope of what we're talking about, but, a lot of our seniors are on a fixed income. Do you have an idea of what it'll cost per month to stay there? Is it-
Yeah, so this will be workforce and affordable housing, so it'll be limited to individuals and families earning 60% and less of the area median income.
Well,
Okay.
just seniors. He said individuals and families, it's just seniors.
Okay,
Just-
thank you.
So, yeah.
Are there any y'all got a question?
No more questions.
Say you got a question, Doyle?
I think I'm out of them right now.
Uh,
I'm out of them right now.
Okay. All right, we want to read the resolution. We want to read the resolution to provide for certain certifications regarding an abandoned building and an abandoned building site according to South Carolina Code, annotated section 12-67-100 ETSEQ. We'd like to have a motion, please.
I make a motion for approval of this resolution.
Motion has been made by Dr. Kalu,
Second.
second by Councilman Hawkins. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Ayes have it. Two
Still thinking about it.
abstain. How you vote?
That's it.
Ayes have it, the motion is carried.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The next item for your consideration is first reading of an ordinance approving the city administrator to negotiate and enter a contract to finance and acquire certain fire protection, motor vehicles, and related equipment in the amount not to exceed $945,630, authorizing the execution and delivery of documents necessary to carry out the financing and acquisition. So about a month ago, Battalion Chief Winningham sent an email to administration regarding some of the needs of our fire department. And we met with the finance department and folks in our finance department to determine what we could afford in terms of within our budgetary constraints. And it was determined that we could afford a fire apparatus up to that amount. So essentially, we have about $147,000 of annual debt service that's rolling off next year. This, if we were to spend up to this amount, it would be about $90,000 in annual debt service. So once that $147,000 rolls off, we could replace that with basically $90,000 annually in debt service. But we want to make sure that we are doing all we can to support our fire department and the equipment that they need, because obviously public safety is a top priority. So there are engines that are coming close to the end of their life, end of their useful life. We've had some maintenance issues, and so we issued an RFP to basically see what used and new fire engines were available. We have thus far identified, I think, two engines that would potentially meet our criteria. It's a very fluid market. It changes, but we feel now that we've gotten to the point where if you authorize me to do this, we can go ahead and continue to do our due diligence and hopefully find a vehicle that will be within this amount, so we can go ahead and get that into operations.
Can you clarify how the funds would be spent? Would it just be on would it be two engines or just one?
It would probably be just one engine. So right now, we're looking at an engine that is about, and I'll ask Chief Whittingham to confirm this, but I think it's about $700,000 or so. Is that right? Okay, about $709,000. We could, if it's still available, we could purchase that and still be obviously under this $945,000 threshold, and get that vehicle in operations relatively quickly. Is it about, how long will it take to get it?
I'm not certain about that. We just located a vehicle. It's currently located in Springfield, Illinois. It was a demo unit. Like Mr. Evering said, the used market is very fluid. It's a first come, first served basis. So right now, we're waiting to find out your decision before we actually go further.
And you said 90,000, we can withstand 90,000 in debt service?
Right, so we have approximately $147,000 in debt service that's rolling off next year. At this amount, $945,000, that equates to about $90,000 over a 10-year period with the 5 to 5.5% interest rate. And so we feel like we could absorb that and still, it wouldn't be a negative impact to our current budget.
But we would go ahead and purchase it now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'd like to thank Chief for presenting this to us in terms of the needs of the fire department, which I think is extremely important in protecting our citizens, and I'm for it.
Yeah.
Is this an engine or is this a ladder?
Engine.
Okay. Do we have any plans for further acquisition of any more apparatus in the future? I know it's an expensive purchase, something you have to plan for.
Yeah, we'll continue to obviously try to address the needs as we go through budget planning and capital project planning. So, because like I said earlier, some of these apparatus are getting to the end of their useful lives.
Now, would this replace a specific engine, or would this just be an extra?
I'll let you speak to that.
You might remember Engine 56. It
Yes.
was the 1991 E1. It's already reached the end of its service life. It has been in reserve status for a very long time. It has had to come out of reserve status, and because of its wear and age and mechanical issues, it's just gotten to the point now where it's no longer usable. Our city shops evaluated it. We've had it evaluated before. We even looked at the possibility of refurbishing the truck, but due to its age, it doesn't meet the capability of being retrofitted to modern safety requirements, so it is not even a candidate for refurbishment. We've done a lot of due diligence over the course of a couple of years, just trying to make sure that we were, obviously spending money the best as we could. We were staying operational. Unfortunately, that truck, Engine 56, is just no longer usable, so this is meant to replace 56. It'll go out of service and be sold at auction, and
the next oldest truck, Engine 63, which is housed at Station 4 on Prosperity Drive, that one will enter into reserve status.
Are all of our engines and ladders up and going now, or what's the status of them?
Not currently. We have mechanical issues that we're addressing. We have trucks at various shops so that we spread the work out. Our city shop is also addressing mechanical issues as
How many
well.
trucks are down?
4 at the moment,
How many do we have?
11.
11 fire trucks we have?
We have 6 engines, 4 first out engines, 2 reserve trucks. So the reserve trucks are always the oldest. We have 2 ladder trucks, one of them that was acquired in 2022. We have 1 heavy rescue, 1 light rescue, and 1 brush unit that's used for like grass fires, things like that.
So we're in the process of getting those 4 that are out of service. Those are being worked on currently?
Yes, sir. One is, Engine 64 is currently at Stillinger's. We have some front end and brake work to be done on it so that it is safe to drive. Tower 1 has been at Spartan Apparatus in Somerville. We sent it back to the manufacturer. It had some front end work that needed to be done, brake work as well. Engine 60 has a broken poly tank, so it's leaking water, it's not holding water. That one just went down, so we've already made the request to determine what is the quote and how much would it cost to repair. And ladder 2 was just, the hydraulic system was just recently repaired. And now that I'm able to move the ladder, I can lift the cab and it's going to our shop tomorrow morning.
So we don't have any ladder truck in service right now in the city?
Not at the moment. West Middle has been on reserve status for us whenever we need a ladder truck. Recently, they actually responded and assisted us with a fire that we had in front of All Star Bowling.
Well, I'm behind you 110%, you know that, so
Yes, sir.
keep up the good work, and let's try to get these trucks fixed and back in service. I think everybody on council agree, that's something we have to have.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Ms. Gay have a
You
question.
do not come to us often, and we thank you for that, but do you think this will be enough to suffice your area and really take care of our citizens?
Yes, ma'am. Like I said, it replaces one truck that is not a viable candidate for repair or refurbishment. It is currently sitting in the storage building behind Fire Station 2 on Chestnut Street, and we're not even able to use that truck. We've actually already stripped it of all of its equipment.
Okay. Thank you much.
So that 200,
Hold on, Joy. Go ahead.
We know how important the fire department is to us, and I'll tell anybody, I don't know how they get to those fires as quick as they get to them, because they're there. And we want to lend you all the tools you need. But you make, I think the number was 945,
Yes, sir.
and the engine is costing 7 something.
The used engine that we've identified, we obviously have not entered into any kind of contract. It's, if somebody bought it tomorrow morning or now,
That's bad
it's
enough.
gone. But we've identified that one. It was 709.
So what do we do with the remaining funds? That's what I'm saying.
Well, the truck itself would be 709. This hypothetical truck that we're looking at. There are still things that have to be done to it. I spoke to Mr. Evering prior to this meeting that there are additional equipment that would have to be bought. It's what's referred to as a demo unit, so it is bare bones stock. It's just ready to ship. It's sitting in a lot in Springfield, Illinois.
Okay, they're on a different time, they're not Eastern Standard, so we can take care of that tonight.
So with the, have we considered the trucks that are, or engines that are in, being serviced right now or being repaired right now in terms of the cost for those services or repairs in this 945, or is there something else set aside to?
No, those repairs are already being handled with
Okay.
funds that are allocated in our operating budget.
Awesome.
Joy, go ahead. Go ahead.
what's that?
Go ahead.
So the 200 and something $1,000 for equipment,
It was allocated for truck and any necessary equipment needed, such as I spoke to Mr. Evering again prior to this meeting. One of the things that we mentioned was, this truck being a demo unit, it doesn't have the main intake valve on the side of the pump. The deck gun is not there. There's some mounting equipment, and of course, striping the signifies City of Orangeburg and whatever engine number it goes to. So there are some funds that have to be used, of course, in excess of the purchase cost of the truck.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay. Ms. Evans, you,
No,
I'm gonna read the, right here, sorry. Okay, number 8, the first reading of an ordinance approving the city administrator to negotiate and enter a contract to finance and acquire certain fire protection motor vehicles and related equipment in the amount not to exceed $945,630, authorizing the execution and delivery of the documents necessary to carry out the financing and acquisition. Like to receive, entertain a motion.
I move for approval of the first reading.
Second.
Motion has been made by Councilman Kalou, second by Councilman Hannah. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, the motion is carried. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Matters pertaining to the Department of Public Utilities.
Mr. Mayor, there is nothing for the department.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, member privilege? Member privilege.
Go ahead.
What I'm going to say in this meeting right now is not in reference to anyone. We are 7 elected officials on this table. There are 6 council members plus the mayor. And we represent each district as elected by that district. I think when we come before the public and someone is presenting something, it's within the right of each member to ask questions if they want to ask questions for clarification before they vote. Because when you vote, your vote is official. And so it behoves whoever is presenting to clarify or answer the question, or the mayor, if you have the answer, to also, give an input. We all have that right. So for professional courtesy and being before the public, we need to really, present ourselves thoroughly as professionals. Anyone here has the right to ask any question any number of times they want until they get the answer that they needed before they vote. That's my point. Thank you.
21st of January, Orangeburg will recognize the national HBCU champions, South Carolina State University. Isn't that right, Chief Austin?
Thank you.
Let me plug that.
Thank you. Executive session number 9, performance and evaluation discussion of City of Orangeburg Department of Public Utility Manager, South Carolina Code, Section 30-4-70A1. Item number 10, discussion and negotiation of incident to propose contractual arrangements and proposed sale or purchase of property and the receipt of legal advice, Section 3470A2, Columbia Road property. I would like to entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
It's properly moved by
Second.
Councilman Hannah.
Second.
By Councilman Kalou. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. The motion is carried. Good night and thank y'all for coming.